Hey guys, it's Erica and welcome back to my channel. It's currently midnight, so it is April 30th, 2018, and I'm back with another video. This time I wanted to tell you guys about my allergic reaction that sent me to the hospital, and I also wanted to give you guys an update on the PreMed Strategies phone call that I had on Friday. So I wanted to tell you guys about this because it made me think about a lot of different things. So backstory, I never told you guys this, but my dream job was to become an OB sonographer that did 3D pregnancies. So I did the whole, the 3D pregnancy photo shoots and things like that. And I was totally into YouTube. So I was going to create a whole business for myself. I had it all worked out how I wanted it to be. I also have an associate's in business management. And that was because I wanted to own my own business doing the pregnancy photo shoots because I was into photography and YouTube. So I wanted to do pregnancy photo shoots. And I also wanted to use my sonography degree to do 3D images of the baby. And it was going to be a whole thing with 3D images and pregnancy photo shoots and this whole big business that I had thought up in my mind, but God had other plans for me. So I wanted to tell you guys about what happened at the hospital and just how my whole mindset has completely changed from how I felt about the job that I wanted to have till God just having other plans for me. And I know the Bible says that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard what He has for us. He has plans that are to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us hope in the future, that His ways are not like our ways, His thoughts are not like our thoughts, they're way higher. So the little plan that I had of the business that I wanted to own was nothing compared to the dream that He had of me being a doctor and being more than that. So with that being said, this is what happened to me. On Friday, I was given a medicine by my doctor called Bachelor. It's an antibiotic, but it contains sulfur. It's very common for people to be allergic to sulfur. I myself didn't know I was allergic, and I feel like I've taken the medicine before without a problem, but this time it was totally different. We went out as a family to eat Mexican, and I took the pill, the Bachelor antibiotic, while I was at the restaurant. By the time it was time for me to go to sleep, I started to feel very sick. My stomach was killing me all throughout the night. I had chills. I was shaking. It was crazy. And then when I woke up, I felt like my lips were tingling, my fingertips were numb, my feet were burning and itching, my hands were shaking, and then I felt a lot of labored breathing, like I couldn't breathe. And I didn't really think too much of it. And then when I got up to look in the mirror, I noticed that my lips were double the size, my eyes were bloodshot red, and I was just shaking so bad, and then I felt like I couldn't breathe, and it was really, really, really scary. I'm not one to cry. Like, I don't like to cry. I feel like I'm weak if I cry. I'm way better than I used to be, but I just don't like to cry, and I was actually feeling like I was crying a little bit, and I was just like, I just don't feel good. I don't feel good, so we decided to take me to the emergency room. And I felt so different being at the emergency room. First of all, backstory on the doctors that I go to. When I was in x-ray school, I had the option of choosing what clinical sites I wanted to go to. I always refused to go to the clinical site that was my hospital. Like if I ever got sick, I would go there. And I refused to go there for sonography as well. And they didn't have a placement for me there anyway, but I didn't want to go there because I figured if I ever got sick, this is the hospital that I would go to. I don't want anyone to know me. I want them to treat me just as any other patient. So that was the case. Nobody knew me there, and I was able to just go in there and just be vulnerable and sick. It was awful. So I went in there, hands are trembling, and it was such an out-of-body experience. Now, I'm telling you guys this because with me having the transition of wanting to go into business for myself to wanting to be a doctor, my mind is totally transformed in the way that I see things. So it literally was as if I was the patient, but I was watching my own treatment and being involved in my own treatment. I know it's not making sense, but it will make sense in a second. So I told them everything that was going on with me. They immediately put me in an actual room. They didn't try to triage me. They knew that something was up. Like I was having trouble signing the papers. I was shaking so bad, and they could see that my lips were absolutely huge and they were tingling. It was hard to swallow. It was awful. And I began to feel like my throat was closing up, but it didn't fully close up. Like it wasn't enough to scare me. It felt kind of funny swallowing because everything was kind of tingly and numb, and then it felt kind of like labored breathing. So they put me in the room, and immediately it became like a weird show to me, if that makes sense. So I watched as the nurse comes in. I watched as the nurse asks me these questions. I watch as her wheels turn trying to figure out what's going on. I watch as she takes my blood. I watch everything that she does. I watch my vitals. My blood pressure was 115 over 66. It dropped to 111 over 55 before I left. My blood pressure was lowering, and I felt really suppressed and hard breathing. I watched as my pulse was going. I watched everything that was happening. And then when the doctor came in, I watched as I told him what was going on with me and how his wheels began to spin and how he came up with the diagnosis in his head, how he knew exactly how he wanted to treat me. And then I watched as the nurse came in and she brought the medicine, and every single thing that she said was happening. So she said, okay, I'm going to give you this steroid, and it's going to, what'd she say? I'm going to give you a steroid, it's going to make your stomach hurt. I felt nauseous, like I was going to throw up. I'm going to give you this Pepsid, it's going to clear that up. It began to clear it up. I'm going to give you this Benadryl, it's going to make you feel cold all over. I began shaking and feeling cold all over. Everything that she said happened, and I watched this, how my body reacted to the medications, and everything was like a science to me, and it was so intriguing and like exciting to me. Even though I'm the one sick, like felt like I was dying, it was just a total out of body experience of me kind of being in the midst of my own treatment plan, but being interested, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's making sense, but it was just very, very weird. And they had a medical student come in, and I got to see what it was like to be a medical student for a second, and he kind of couldn't answer every question. It was okay. He said, you know what, I don't know what to tell you. He said, I'm just a medical student. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just here to get an intake and take it back to the doctor and present it to him. And he just felt so comfortable in saying that he didn't know what to do, and it was just a weird thing. I know all this sounds really crazy, but it was just such a weird thing. And it's just crazy how my dreams have switched over time, and how God has developed my dreams into different things, and how even at this job I don't feel completely settled here because I know this isn't it for me. And a lot of times I feel like if you're in a job right now, then it might have been your dream job, something that you might wanted to do, but God has greater plans for you, and they're not always what you think they should be. That idea of having the business was such a big thing to me, but this is even more what God has for me. And when I come to this job, I know that it's not the end all be all. When I'm here, I don't feel completely satisfied. Yes, I love what I do. I love my patients. I love my job, but I know that this isn't it. So sometimes you'll be in your job and you feel like, I know that there's more. And sometimes you just have to ask God, and you have to seek out for more and figure what that is. The way that I felt being in the hospital room was a complete amazing feeling. I was sick, I was down, but the excitement of everybody around me, all the treatment, not me getting treatment, like not that excitement, but just watching as having a great nurse at bedside, how she was so in tune with what was going on with me, that she was able to answer all my questions, that she knew exactly how every medication would affect me to make me feel comfortable. Watching how the doctor could turn his wheels that quickly to figure out a diagnosis and figure out the treatment and what medicines he wanted to give. How the medical student was able to come in and feel free enough to tell me that he didn't know everything, but he would take all the intake to the doctor. And just watching the whole process was just amazing. And how the nurse came in and assessed my face, and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna look at your face, I'm gonna make sure everything looks good, I'll come back in a few minutes. She came back in like 30 minutes. Man, your lips have gone down, things are looking so much better. And they were just so in tune with the entire process of what was going on, and it was just amazing. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I just thought it was crazy how me being sick in the hospital could have such an amazing impact on my desire to be a doctor, and that how my dreams have changed over time, and how God has elevated me and gave me more dreams and just different dreams in the first place than what I ever could think or imagine. I thought or imagined I'd be this business person, owning this business, doing this, but he had greater plans, and he still will continue to have greater plans. Sometimes you won't ever feel settled in something because there's always something more out there for you in God. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I wanted to tell you guys about the PreMed Strategies appointment that I had on Friday. Everything went down on Friday, so I had that at 11, and then I took the medicine at like 7 o'clock at night or so, and then everything went bad. But at the appointment, it actually went very, very well. I did not get a chance to record the appointment, but I think she might have recorded it or something, so I might be able to like replay a few clips or something if I find it. If not, oh well. But I did take a lot out of the meeting. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to use her yet, just because she didn't give me any price points or anything like that to share with you guys. I actually have to go through a whole different intake form to get price points, so it would have been nice if I would have got the price and things like that. But I think she was extremely helpful, very attentive. I got to tell my story and how I got to where I was at. She was able to tell me that she feels like I'm kind of on a clean slate as far as med school goes because I haven't taken the required courses yet. She was able to give me information about the things that they require, how med schools really prefer that you take your science courses in class and not online. She's able to tell me that. She was able to give me information about finding research projects and, working with different science teachers that might have a step of a research project that you can be a part of. Like maybe you're part of the testing, but you're not a part of the entire thing. It's like a 7-year project, and you were part of this little piece of it that still is research. And getting into volunteer work. I was thinking maybe Habitat for Humanity, things like that. She was talking about, volunteering at your local hospital, things like that. But since I work at a hospital, it's a little bit different for me because when I'm here, I want to get paid. So just volunteering in different actions, even at your church, there's so many different places to volunteer. And just how important it is to have a full kind of portfolio when you're going into medical school. And that medical schools, in order for non-traditional students getting into medical schools, what they're really looking for is to see if you will be able to complete a rigorous coursework in medical school. So if you had bad grades, they're looking to see, did your grades improve over time? And if you have certain things on your that haven't been done, did you eventually get those things done? Do they see improvements? It's like the biggest thing that they're looking for. So it turned out to be an amazing conversation. It was only for 30 minutes, but it was an awesome conversation. I definitely am thinking about using her. I don't know if I mentioned this, but in our phone call, we didn't go over prices or anything. This was a consultation. It had nothing to do with joining an actual program. She did think that I would benefit from having her just for the fact that since I'm a non-traditional student, I don't have a pre-med advisor or someone who can kind of like, I'm not part of a program per se that has an advisor. I'm piecing together everything, and sometimes you need an advisor, someone to help you. And I really did like, she said that I should be able to apply within the next 2 years considering everything that I'm going through. And she just gave me great information, and I think she would give me a lot about, you know, taking my MCATs and all different things like that, of different courses and things that I can get into. She also mentioned post-bachelorette programs. I don't really qualify for one. There's some around here, Agnes College I heard of. I'm not quite sure where that's at, but I know that they have one here in Georgia. But you have to have the 4 courses, the 4 science courses to even get into that one, and that's what I need anyway, so there'd be no reason for me to join. It's also one that that requires you to be in school full-time, and you can't have a job, and I need my job. So these are things that I can't do, but if you're able to get into a post-bachelorette program, then that would be amazing. And yeah, so I'm kind of in the piecemeal thing. I'm piecing together what I need. And it was just a very, very nice conversation, flowed very nicely, and I really benefited from having the conversation with her. So if you guys are non-traditional students interested in kind of figuring out where you lie, I mean, in the whole sector of being non-traditional and just what the colleges are looking for and things, I would definitely reach out to her. It's a free 30-minute phone call. You can decide whether you want to take her up on her offer or not. But it was a great phone call, and I think it definitely benefited me in every way, shape possible. Now I have a clear understanding of what they're looking for me and what I need to add. Joining some programs, you know, getting involved in research, or trying to find research, getting involved in volunteer activities, making sure that the grades that I do get in my sciences are the best. Taking my time and being patient and making sure to get things done. And then I really would love to have her in my later steps of finding a program to study for my MCATs and things like that. I would love to have her help, and even have her help with the application process, as she's helped a lot of people with application processes as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you guys are interested in medical school, that you would give her a shout out, not really, give her a call, 30-minute free consultation, and just kind of assess where you're at and just see if you can get some guidance and some help. It was definitely worth it, and I probably will take her up on her offer, just not quite yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got a lot out of it, that it touched a few of you guys, and that you guys were able to just see how your dreams change over time and how God just manifests things, and that you guys got a little bit more information about pre-med strategies, phone calls for non-traditional students who want to go to medical school. So my birthday trip is this weekend. I went ahead and rented a vlog camera so that I can make some nice vlogs for you guys. You guys requested them and wanted to see kind of my normal daily life type of things. So our vlogs will start on Friday. I don't know when I'm going to get everything out there, but I'm going to be vlogging, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And I'll see you guys very soon. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, guys. Comment down below.